podcast party. Memories of Holdenshire.
My name is Gwyven. A few days ago, I woke up at the bottom of a crypt with these 3 strangers who are less famous than me. None of us can remember what we were doing for the past month, but we have been advised by Granny Appleseed that the best way to recover our missing memories is to explore the town of Hengistbury and its people. We've been doing just that, and everything, well, is starting to come back to us in bits and pieces.
You awake the next morning to a bright, beautiful day in Hengistbury. Each of you coming out of your rooms, having a wonderful breakfast given to you by Michael Ferris, which he has received from the Bleeding Heart Tavern. He's literally gone and brought you breakfast because, of course, the Hen and Filly does not serve food. How do you like Hengistbury? Is it doing it for you?
Wonderful.
It's been enlightening, to say the least.
I'm glad of that. Hopefully you remember who you are. You said that you were trying to find out more about what you were doing here last. Where do you plan to go today?
Well, we've hit rather a lot of places, but we could go to the Bleeding Heart Tavern.
Don't go there. The Pembertons are fucking assholes. You do not want to go there.
Oh.
The only reason why I go there is just I'll pay them for their food, which I'll admit is amazing. But seriously, they're just, I hate them. I hate them.
All right. Well, how about this? The trading post offers a variety of mundane gear, I understand, and I understand that they purchase game from local hunters. Tillingbet, perhaps you did some hunting.
Oh.
I don't often do a lot of hunting, but I do a lot of fishing, so perhaps I might have sold some fish there.
Worth a shot, I'd say.
Very good.
Well, if nothing else, we'll find out if there's a good place for me to sell fish in the future.
Could be a win-win. So yeah, after breakfast, we'd like to head over to the trading post.
You see, even at this time of day, people are setting up for their particular methods of trade, and you see that there are about 3 or 4 people there. You see a gentleman who has sort of a bunch of furs, who seems to be some kind of a trapper, trading those furs to another person who's sort of a dwarf. He has an enormous black beard, and he has all of these sort of tattoos across his face. He's wearing armor. He seems to be sort of looking at this trader and is looking at his wares. And standing off to the side, a tall woman, probably about 35 years old, very, very muscular. She wears her hair in a sort of a stylized braided mohawk, and she has 2 war hammers that are fastened to her waist.
Do any of these people ring a bell with any of us? Do we just sort of look them over? Does anyone look familiar?
Does Gwyven know the dwarf?
You can, all of you, make history checks to see if maybe any of you know them or have met them.
Mercury actually got a 16.
Slingbet unfortunately has an 8, so probably not.
And Gwyven got 10.
Yes, then Violet got a 5.
Of the 4 of you, Mercury does remember speaking to this woodsman, this gentleman who's selling furs. If the other 3 of you spoke to either of the other 2 people, you don't remember it.
I walk up to the gentleman selling furs that I seem to recall, and I say, "Good morning," I smile broadly. "Nice to see you again. Beautiful weather. Has business been as good as always?"
Yes, I haven't seen you here in a while. You were Mercury?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, I am. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm excellent with faces, terrible with names.
Oh, that's all right. Everyone seems to forget. My name is Jan Francis Rainweaver.
Of course, Mr. Rainweaver. It's a lovely name. I can't imagine how I've forgotten it.
I don't know, but good to see you again, Mercury.
Perhaps I'm, again embarrassing myself, but if you haven't had the pleasure of meeting my good friend Tillingbet, I would love to get the 2 of you together. I feel like you're both outdoorsmen with some love for the natural world.
He looks over at Tillingbet and he goes, "Of course, Tillingbet, how are you doing?" He walks over to Tillingbet, puts a hand on your shoulder. Out tracking that 10-point buck again?
Yes. Well, didn't have much luck with that. It's been a very strange month. How has your hunting been?
Oh, well, very, very poor. All the kobolds, they make all the game run away, and I get the nothing.
I say you'll have to forgive Tillinga. First of all, his specialty is mainly in scales, not in antlers, so he didn't have much luck against that buck, and I'm afraid that he may have suffered a blow to the head while in pursuit of the buck. We're trying to sort of retrace his steps if possible, and sometimes it just helps him to see familiar people and hear some familiar stories. I wonder if you can remember anything about that hunting expedition that Tlingbet was on. Just look at, he can barely focus his eyes. Look at, I hold my finger at differing lengths.
Tlingbet does his best to play along, yeah, and just seem a little out of it, which is not that hard, considering that he is completely overwhelmed by all of this.
Yes, I think Tlingbet's particularly receptive now. We might be lucky if you've got a familiar, calming story, or even an exciting story.
So here's the way this is going to work if you want Tlingbet to get one of his memories back.
God, do I ever.
Yep. We're going to say that Mercury is giving the help action here, which gives you advantage on this check, Tlingbet. Tlingbet, I'm going to go ahead and say that you can make either a nature check.
Okay.
Or you can make a deception check.
And when I'm moving my finger back and forth, I will also cast guidance on Tlingbet. I'll touch him on the forehead.
Right. So we're going to do a nature check. All right. So we're going to go with the 22, and then he has the guidance, but...
That'll totally be a 24 with the guidance.
Beautiful. All right.
Clear as crystal, it comes back to you as he's telling this story about how you seemingly went into the forest, having no luck, unfortunately, at the river, perhaps seeming a little distracted by someone or something. You went in with your hunting gear, intending to obtain this 10-point buck, this stag that was out in the forest that seems to be the hunter's trophy of sorts. But then you returned, as Jan Francis Rainweaver puts it, without this particular trophy or anything. But after you returned back to Hengistbury, you fell into a conversation, and perhaps this is the reason for your distraction, with someone who he couldn't really see that well. Jan Francis says, yes, he was, at least I think it was he was a very tall a man, wearing a beautiful purple cloak. He brought you, and come to think of it, you were there, and points over at Violet. Yes, you were there too, and points over at Gwyven. All four of you were speaking with this man with the purple cloak.
Okay.
I don't know him, his face, his name, unfamiliar. Logan? He looks over at the dwarf. Logan, do you remember this man with the purple? No, I don't remember it. Stop asking me. Every single day you ask me.
Does the purple-cloaked man happen to ring a bell with any of the rest of us?
I'm going to go ahead and say that you don't have to make any checks. It's as if a key has opened a lock in your minds. The four of you all remember it from your perspectives. In your time here in Hengistbury, you came back into the town after noting that something was off, and that something was pulling you back into town. In the case of Gwyven, after you had your short sword sharpened, you were approached by this man with the purple cloak, and after falling into a conversation with him about locks and traps and the like, your memory just fades and you don't remember anything after that. In the case of Mercury, you were having quite a time at the Bleeding Heart Tavern, regaling the people there at the tavern and with your stories of your particular tavern, wondrous things that it can do and where it actually resides. Some people believing you, some people not.
Where is my tavern?
Good question. In the middle of the night, you were approached by this man with a purple cloak who asked you to step outside and tell him more about this particular tavern. You turned to see that 3 others were also near you, this, of course, being Gwyven, Violet, and Tlingbet. And you noted that this man with a purple cloak had glowing orange eyes. And the last thing that you remember before completely blacking out was a wagon nearby that the 3 other companions were slowly and methodically entering. seemingly of their own volition. That particular memory seems to pass through all 4 of you, having undergone now the 3rd of your 3 restorations of memory to Lingbet.
Slingbet kind of like shivers a little bit at the weird, creepy memory. Looks around at the others. At least it seems that we were all in this together at one point.
Yes. Need to find out who that was.
Well, I'm sorry to say I have not seen this gentleman with the purple cloak in town since. It was about a month ago.
This might be something worth asking the sheriff about.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
I would like to take a few moments before we do that to use my forgery kit to draw up a wanted poster with, like, as good a description as I can of the purple-cloaked man on it.
Nice.
Love it.
Once the poster's complete, we'll go over there.
You pass through town. I'd say it's probably like midday by this point. You head to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office is sort of close to the old temple. You see that there are a couple of guards nearby. They don't seem to be in any shape, to be perfectly honest. You see the sheriff's office. The door is actually open.
Give a knock on the open door and peek in.
A broad-shouldered man sitting in a chair, his feet on his small desk, and he has his arms folded across his chest, and he is snoring.
Are there any wanted posters of us?
No.
Like in here? Okay.
You look around immediately, sort of like scanning the area. You see nothing.
I'm going to post my wanted poster on the wall directly across from him so that when he wakes up, it's the first thing that he's going to see. I will say, please contact Mercury at the motherfucking Hen in Philly with any information about this person. Dangerous, do not approach.
Right on.
And I tiptoe back out.
Okay, moving on.
Now you all remember sort of the last thing is getting into this cart.
Are we able to perhaps recognize, now that we remember, are we able to recognize the place where we got on the cart? We've been around town a bit.
Just outside the Bleeding Heart Tavern. Now, the good news is that because you guys have all been successful in remembering this, I'm going to give you guys some happy news. Besides the fact that you all have regained some memory, you will all gain a +1 bonus on your next ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Cool.
You will also get a +1 to your initiative on the next combat.
All right.
And for every combat after that.
Ooh, just forever. +1 initiative?
Until the end of the adventure.
Cool. That is exciting.
Hengistbury is abuzz with activity. The weekend-long summer festival is today. You find, in talking to Maiko, what's going on in the summer festival. There are a wide assortment of food and drink vendors. They even sell toys there. They specialize in sweet, salty, and fried foods. Fried cake for like 2 silver apiece. By the way, he mentions that Granny Appleseed is actually making a special appearance here to sell her goods. But of course, everybody talks about the amazing games at the summer festival. People compete, not only for their own personal pride, but of course for money as well. Typically, unless you have a special game in which you need to use magic, contestants are not allowed to play any games or contests with the use of magic. Enhancements, spells, and items are prohibited from games, period, end of story. Any contestant found to be using any kind of magical enhancements is stripped of all winnings and publicly shamed. You look at the list of actual vendors and games. The number 1 vendor, of course, on the list is Granny Appleseed's Goodies. There are then 9 games. The first is the Right Honorable Annual Pie Eating Contest. The second one is an archery competition. The third is a caber toss. That's the kind of thing that you probably see in our world, the giant logs that the Scots pick up and they sort of they just toss it across the field. But not to be outdone, obviously somebody found this amusing and made a cabernet toss.
I get it.
The 5th game is Catch the Pig. And then appropriately, the 6th game is Guess the Pig's Weight. 7th game, it's just called The Light Show. The 9th game is The Raffle, but the last game is called The Storytelling Contest.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to turn to each of you and let me know which game you wish to, if any, participate in.
I assume we're going to the games because this is where it's really crowded.
Lots of people from all over are coming to the summer festival here in Hengistbury. Not just from Hengistbury, but Thornbury, probably as far away as Blackford. You know that Belton Freedew was on the way to Blackford when he left you a few days ago.
So I guess we'll keep a lookout for someone with the purple cloak.
Which game do you guys want to take part in?
What was Toss the Cabernet?
Cabernet Toss.
We're throwing wine?
You find out a little bit more about it. It is a challenge of toasts. 2 individuals will make toasts of increasing verbosity to anything, life, the gods, your opponent, or anything else that strikes your fancy. The contest is over when a contestant beats their opponent's toast to say which is, the most intense, the most heart-warming.
Mercury has nothing to prove to these people, but I would like to talk. I think what I would be most interested in doing is talking to Granny Appleseed.
I'm interested in the light show.
It doesn't cost anything to enter, but the prize is 1 silver. It's actually judged by the local children. And it's actually at dusk on the first night of the festival, which is tonight. Any contestant that has access to magic is able to actually participate in this game. If they have access to something like light or minor illusion or dancing lights or any kind of a similar persistent light or illusion effect, you can enter. And whoever has the most amazing result that makes the children go ooh and ah would win.
Fascinating.
I don't think I'd be very good at that.
Does it have to be magic?
Yes, it does. This is a magical light show.
Tlingbet, for his part, apparently has a young lady to impress, and he happens to be rather skilled with a longbow, so he's probably going to try and lean towards the archery.
The archer costs 1 silver, but the prize is 32 silver, because there are 32 contestants.
Tlingbet would do the buy-in and put his name on the list for the archery competition.
Okay, that's actually the first competition of the day.
I will condescend to sign up for the Cabernet Toss.
Fantastic. The light show, did I hear, Violet, you were interested or not interested?
I don't know that I have anything that's that impressive to do there.
You can do minor illusion, can't you?
Yes, the thing is I'm not very good with children.
Well, I mean, you're their size. I mean, that always helps.
I know, and people assume I'm good with them, but really I don't know what to say to them. I suppose I'll try? Sure.
Okay, because Gwyven is a dwarf and he is resistant to poisons, he's hoping that the pie eating contest will be good for him, that he won't get sick before someone else does.
God bless you.
So he's doing it.
That entry is 2 gold.
Uh-oh, I only have 1 gold left. I'm going to have to borrow a gold.
I am happy to give Gwyven a gold piece for that.
That will take place directly after the archery competition. Then the light show, and then the Cabernet Toss. So let's start with the archery competition. You're one of 32 contestants. What you're going to do for us now, Tlingbet, is you're going to, with your skill, shoot at a target. The AC of the target in the round that you're in is actually pretty easy. The AC is 11.
Okay.
The higher you get, the more points you score.
Tlingbet would, of course, try and make sure that Ariadne was there and in a place where she could view the competition before we started.
All right, yeah. I will say that she is there.
He does, make some meaningful eye contact before he goes off to begin the competition.
Okay, you see 3 arrows in front of you.
Fantastic. So he lines up his first shot, and that is a 21.
Woo! Amazing. The first shot, the entire crowd just goes, oh, because you have hit the bullseye in your first shot with a 21. So that does immediately 3 points and moves you to the next round.
Fantastic.
You don't even need to shoot the other 2 arrows. Now you're down to the top 16. Go ahead and make your roll again. This time the AC is 12.
Okay. And Tlingbet on his first shot once again.
Wow.
It's a 21.
A couple of people are just absolutely enthralled. A couple of people are like, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's not a real arrow. And goes over to the arrow. It's it's fully through the entire target.
Tlingbet looks a little bit sheepish. He knows he's really good at this, but he's also a little uncomfortable with all of the attention.
You've moved on to the quarterfinals, Tlingbet. There's only 8 contestants left. Go ahead and make your attack. The AC is 13.
Go on, Tlingbet.
This time, he's a little overcome by all of the attention. His first shot is an 11.
Oh, that misses. It goes over the target entirely. That same person's like, I told you it was a fake. You still have 2 arrows left.
All right. His second shot, however, is a 20.
All right, amazing. That second shot hits the bullseye in the center, and you get 3 points. You will move on to the semifinals.
He kind of wipes off his hands, makes sure that he is good to go for the next round, and then lines up his shot. And his first shot for the next round is a 12.
Unfortunately, the AC in the semifinals is a 14, so the first shot misses. You still have 2 arrows left.
His second shot is a 16.
Okay, that hits the target, but it doesn't hit it in the bullseye. You get 2 points. You hit the sort of middle ring. You still have 1 arrow left to hit the minimum of 3 points.
He kind of takes a few deep breaths, looks back to the rest of his companions for some reassurance as he lines up his third shot for this round. And his third shot is a 20.
Hell yes,
Ooh,
absolutely.
Nice.
So bam, right in the middle. The target is absolutely just dead-eyed,
Awesome.
right in the middle. The crowd goes wild. You're down to the finals. It's you and this other contestant, a sort of brawny archer, one arm probably twice the size of the other one. And he sort of looks up at you and he says, "Good luck."
You too, just, yeah. Good luck. I don't want to look bad in front of, and he kind of glances over his shoulder towards where Ariadne is.
Ariadne is looking at you and her hands are just clasped to her chest and she's just biting her nails. Target AC in the finals, just you and this other guy, is 15.
Okay. So Tlingbet, again, takes a few deep breaths to kind of steady himself. And his first shot is a 20.
Oh my goodness. Okay. It basically is how many points between you, because there's no point value
Sure.
anymore. Who does more points in the 3 arrows that you have? So here we go. This guy will do his attack, and he rolled a 19. So he as well gets 3 points. So you are both at 3 points. It is now your turn. Use 2 arrows left.
All right. Tlingbet very carefully lines up his next shot and is perhaps just a little shaken by all of the attention. His second shot is only a 7.
Oh no. The arrow goes wide. It flies over the target and a couple of people sort of exchange money and sort of giggle. And a second arrow flies from your opponent.
I wish this contest allowed magical cheating.
The archer pulls back the string, lets loose the arrow, and it lands in the center as well. Again, 3 points. So now it is 6-3.
Okay.
Tlingbet, your final shot. The AC is
Yes.
15.
Carefully examines the final arrow, trying to make sure that it's all up to snuff as he fires his final shot. And his final shot is a 17.
Okay, a 17 is going to get you 2 points, not 3.
Ooh.
So that's a total of 5 points with your 2 arrows. That would, even if this guy missed, still unfortunately give him the win. You have lost.
Oh, that is heartbreaking.
Yes, his shoulders kind of shrug a little bit out of disappointment, but also out of relief that this is finally over. And he just kind of offers his hand to his opponent and says, that was a good competition.
Yes, well shot. And then he sort of raises his fist in the air and says, "Yeah, I did it, Mom!" And somewhere out in the audience, you just hear a female voice saying, "That's a summer gun."
I turn to the fisherwoman and I say, that Tlingbet, so generous to let that man win. Look how much it means to him and his mother.
A single tear rolls down Ariadne's cheek.
He could have broken that fellow like a twig over his knee.
Jesus.
You're such a good wingman.
Amazing. Ariadne just says, "I don't know what to do. I don't know how to say this. Could you just give him this note?" And she puts a piece of paper in your hand with a wax seal over it.
I'll do that at the exact right moment.
She blushes and wanders off into the crowd. Second game. It's time for the Right Honorable Annual Pie Eating Contest. Yeah. This is the highlight of the Summer Festival, Gwyven. The pie eating contest is a major point of contention.
Strategy.
Uh-oh.
Culinary chess.
You're going to represent Hengistbury, because this is actually a competition between Hengistbury pie eaters and the neighboring town of Thornbury. Each contestant will eat a berry pie continuously for as long as the pie eating contest lasts, which basically is until the last gurgitator standing doesn't puke up his guts. The way it's going to work is you're going to make a Constitution saving throw. Every minute that you eat a pie, I'm going to be increasing this saving throw DC by 1. On a failed save, you are going to be impossibly full and unable to continue. On a failure of 5 or more, I'm going to let you find out if it happens.
All right.
Let's start with you, Andy. Let's just go until you can't go anymore. So, Constitution saving throw.
Okay, Gwyven unbuttons his jacket and his shirt, and he shows his big dwarven belly, and he pats it a couple times.
And he eats a pie. First roll's a 9.
Amazing. The DC was 12. So the good news is, well, you don't have to eat any more pies, Andy. So you're just like the first pie, you're like, oh my God.
Oh no.
You didn't fail by 5 or more, luckily.
No.
I'm out.
He slaps the table and he walks away.
Yeah, all the rest of the Hengistbury team are like, what the fuck, man? He was supposed to, like, he's a dwarf. He's supposed to be able. And eventually, let me just do one roll for the Hengistbury team. They got an 18. And one roll for the Thornbury team. They got a 6. Hengistbury wins, even without your help. The winner of the pie eating contest, you see, is this rotund individual with blueberries smeared all over his face. And you see that as he wins, he is presented a pie. But this pie seems to sort of glow with purple magic as he is presented it by Granny Appleseed. And she smiles and everyone claps and applauds for her. And the pie eating contest ends.
After the pie eating contest, Gwyven is just going to try to melt into the crowd and hide and sneak around and look for purple robe guy.
Okay, let's head to the light show. It's about afternoon/evening. The kids are all lined up. You see a contestant after contestant coming up, showcasing their rather meager skills in magic. A couple of them throw a little ball of fire back and forth and juggle it, and a couple of kids go, that's dangerous, but I like it, it's fun. And then a couple of them show up. They produce sort of like sparks come out of their hands, and a couple of them make, instead of a balloon animal, it's like literally an animal made out of magical light, and it turns into a unicorn. And the kids love that one. And now it is your turn.
Hello, children. Hello, children.
Do the magic!
Oh, yes. I like your directness. I feel that we'll get along fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine minor illusion and prestidigitation. So minor illusion can have one illusion that is no larger than a 5-foot square that is stationary, and then that will stay for 1 full minute once I do it. And then prestidigitation can have 3 simultaneous effects going up to 3 at the same time, and that will last for an hour, but I can make them and dismiss them however I want. So for my first trick, I'm going to create a 3-foot tall baby dragon illusion. And he's going to look really adorable, like a little chibi, you know, those little fat, big-eyed, adorable little dragons. Yay! And then a lullaby is going to play, like an adorable little lullaby. I'm going to have a little puff of smoke. So the lullaby is prestidigitation. Puff of smoke is going to come out of the baby dragon's bottom, like it did a little baby dragon fart.
Kids love this.
Kids love that. And I'm going to see if they are like bracing themselves or like what their reaction is. And then I'm going to make prestidigitation make everything smell like chocolate chip cookies. A little adorable baby dragon farts, and it smells like chocolate chip cookies.
That's fantastic. A wonderful combination of magical illusion. Go ahead and make an Arcana check at advantage.
Okay.
Please. DC of this is going to be 14.
First one is a 9, but I get to do it again. That's an 18.
The kids are absolutely just goo-goo-eyed. They completely fall over each other. The kids are absolutely enthralled, and you are absolutely deemed the winner of the light contest.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Always go with the base humor. Like, kids love it.
And then the final game of the evening, which is the Cabernet Toss. This will cost 1 silver to enter, but the prize is, well, depending, 2 to 8 silver. Let's start off. It's basically you and another contestant.
Another Toastmaster?
Yes, the Toastmaster, exactly.
Okay.
You're going to make opposed persuasion checks to bring the crowd to your side. Now, this ability check is usually charisma, but...
Is it possible that I could make a charisma culture check?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to make a toast to Hengistberry. I'm working from my notes,
God.
which are extensive, but not in the best handwriting.
Fair.
Please bear with. What are we drinking? Cabernet, obviously. I raise the glass. Many of you don't know me at all. I'm a guest, Hengistberry. But I feel like, in some way, I've lived here all my life. And I can see why this place is so special to each and every one of you. Sometimes I feel like it's the place I could finally settle down. From the moment that I first walked in to the Hen in Philly, I wait for a reaction.
Yeah, Michael Ferris is in the corner. He's like, yeah, that's my place.
And met Maiko. To the time that I met good old Milani at the market, or shout out to Ariadne and the river folk, keeping it real with the fish. Am I right? But the truth is, from the flatness of the fields to the heights of the old temple to good old Sheriff motherfucking Brand Torek.
Brand is off to the side. He's like, did he just, what the fuck did he just tell him?
That's great work, Sheriff. And, the Bleeding Heart Tavern, are they and Milo ever going to bury the hatchet?
You hear from the back where Michael Ferris, he goes, boo!
Yes. Well, I don't know who's going to lose that fight, but I'll tell you, by having both of those places in town, we're all winners. And in conclusion, ich bin ein Hengistberry.
Holy shit.
And I will make a...
What a great reference, by the way. Wow.
I love it. Culture. And now, I do have expertise in etiquette in addition to culture.
I'd say this definitely gives you that expertise die. Now, I'm going to tell you the DC before you roll. The DC, based off of the previous contestant, the DC is actually pretty high. So the DC is actually a 16.
Okay, well, all I can do is what I can do. I'm not using magical cheating. 17.
Amazing! Yes, you have brought the people to their knees, rousing claps. It's like an 80s movie at the end where just people like, one person stands up and just claps, and then 2, and then 4, and 10, and the next thing you know, whistles and cheers, and then screams. Hi, everybody. The show will be back shortly for the second half. If you're a new listener and you're enjoying this adventure, you should also check out Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, as we journey to hell and hopefully back in a quest to save the stolen city of Elturel from eternal damnation. We have 2 years of episodes available now, and new episodes come out right in this feed every other Monday. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at cast_party, or on TikTok at cast_party. As always, we're offering monthly free online adventures with our Dungeon Masters. The January free adventure will be a Ladies' Night game open to female and non-binary players with DM Rachel Savicki, who plays Talingbet in Podcast Party Memories of Holdenshire, running The Joys of Extra-Dimensional Spaces from Candlekeep Mysteries. These free games fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. You can watch episodes of Podcast Party on YouTube, complete with artwork, battle maps, character portraits, and even a little bit of animation. You can also catch episodes of our monthly chat show, Power Word Talk, on our YouTube channel as well. Check the show notes for the link or visit cast-party.com. If you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. We would love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at Cast_Party, or on TikTok at Cast_Party. Thanks very much for listening. And now, back to our adventure in Hengistbury.
That's not good.
Wait, bad eyes are good screams.
Screams as there are a number of creatures that have run through the middle of town bearing spears and torches.
Oh, no.
Let's all roll initiative. Here's what happens in the first minutes of the raid on Hengistbury. There are 3 locations in Hengistbury that are under attack. So you can choose to go to any one of them, but you cannot go to all 3 as a group. If you choose to go to 2 out of the 3, you must split the group. The boats down by the river are being attacked. The fisher folk are sort of trying to defend themselves from small, scaly, red-skinned creatures, which you recognize as kobolds. The second location happens to be the Bleeding Heart Tavern, where you see that a few kobolds have entered the tavern and seem to be setting fire to it, as you see that smoke is coming out of the tavern itself. And last but not least, maybe about a few hundred feet from your position, there is Hengistbury Keep itself, where Lord and Lady Pemberton are ruling from. And you see that there are a number of kobolds that are approaching the keep. One of them has an enormous log, and it is ramming the gate with that log. Other kobolds are scaling the walls. Which places do you want to go to?
Whoa.
Real quick, I feel like the tavern on fire is a big crisis. Because that's going to be a lot of people.
It will spread.
And they're not going to be able to defend themselves. Attacking the keep is bad, but I feel like the keep is going to be able to mount some kind of defense on its own.
And they're fortified,
Right.
so they should be able to hold out a little longer.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like
And screw the
Agreed.
boats.
well,
We don't
I
care.
feel like the rivers.
Wow, okay.
Well, I feel like most of those people.
But Selingbet's
No, she's right
girlfriend
here.
is there.
She's here. She was watching
She
the
is.
archery contest.
She's at the
Oh,
festival.
that's true.
She's
And
at the festival.
I feel like most of the people are going to be at the festival, not on the river right now. I actually feel like that's a feint.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're going to go all the way down to the
Yeah.
river, and the inn's going to burn down.
I agree that the
Yeah.
fire is probably the biggest issue.
So are we agreed on
Same.
the tavern?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So we charge towards the tavern.
Yep.
So Violet, what did you get?
Violet got a 20.
To Lingbet.
Slingbet got an 8.
Gwyven.
Gwyven got a 20.
And Mercury.
Mercury got a 21.
Gwyven and Violet tied. You guys get to decide who goes first.
You can go.
The kobolds got a 9 on their initiative. All right, so Mercury, you are first. What do you wish to do?
Okay, so I can't currently see any kobolds, correct?
From your position, you can sort of see one through the smoke and fire. Inside the building, you can sort of see the scaly little red legs of a kobold 85 feet from your position.
I turn to my 3 companions at my side. Who is closest to me? Okay, I raise 3 fingers and spin 3 copper coins on them and toss them up in the air and catch them, and I'm going to cast Bless on myself, Talingbet, and Gwyven. And then I will move. Just want to be able to see the situation a little more. So I'm being fairly cautious. I don't want to get up front and get hit. Just trying to see inside. I'll just point to my friends that I can definitely see one kobold dead ahead of me, about 65 feet in front of me, just through the indoors, about 10 feet inside the door. And that is my turn. I'll hold my position there.
All right, Violet, you're up.
She is going to cast Magic Missile at the kobold that she can currently see. And she can do it from where she is because it has 120-foot range. So that's 9 points of damage.
Your magic missile bolts sail through the smoke inside, and you just hear...
All right. I'm going to advance a little bit closer. I'm going to move 30 feet west, and I'm going to stand right by a tree so I can duck behind it if I have to.
You can sort of see the back leg of another kobold from where you are. Gwyven, you're up.
Oh, I can't see anybody, so I'm just going to have to move. I'm going to follow Violet as my bonus action, I'm going to dash, and I'm going to move another 25 feet. And then he is going to load his crossbow and have it ready. So he'll hold his action. For the first kobold he sees, he's going to shoot it.
Coming out from the fire of this building is a kobold. This kobold has a strange set of bones wrapped around its wrists and neck and is wearing some kind of weird scaly tunic and says something in a language I don't think any of you know. You do know it, actually, Tlingbet. You know Draconic,
yeah,
right?
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think I do, yeah. Yes, I do.
And he says, "You will all die in fire." As he does so,
okay,
he raises his hands and 3 baseball-sized balls of flame appear, and he hurls each one of these 3 balls at the 3 people closest to him. So that's Violet.
Can I shoot him with my crossbow first?
You did hold your action, so go for it.
16.
That hits.
He takes 7 points of piercing damage.
He sort of like looks at this bolt that went into his shoulder, screams with fury, and hurls the 3 bolts of fire at you, Violet, you, Gwyven, and you, Mercury. First one at Violet. Ooh. That's a 22 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
8 fire damage.
Ouch.
Second bolt of flame. That's a 17 to hit you, Gwyven.
Oh yeah, that hits.
That is 8 fire damage. And the third one is 12 to hit you, Mercury.
I do dodge that.
Spurred on by this user of flame magic, the other kobolds that have been hiding inside the burning building will rush outside, brandishing nasty little knives.
Okay.
One of them stays back and starts whirling a sling around its head, aiming at Violet. Just hurls a rock from his sling at you, Violet. And the other one, brandishing his shiv, will rush Gwyven. Sling shot at Violet. That is a 20 non-natural. 4 bludgeoning damage.
I am
Bam!
unconscious.
Violet is out. Oh, the second kobold who rushes at Gwyven, try to stab you with his nasty shiv, and rolled an 11.
Oh, he missed it. I dodge out of the way.
That is their turn. Tlingbet, it is now yours.
In response to the fire user telling us that we are all going to die in fire, Tlingbet yells back in Draconic, "You first," and then tries to shoot him with his longbow. And that is a 24 to hit.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be 7 piercing damage.
Ouch! The creature that was hurling fire at you screams in fury, and now he's just been peppered twice. Anything else you want to do, Tlingbet?
No, Tlingbet's going to hang back where he is right now.
All right, we're top of the round. Mercury.
Mercury whistles towards Violet, and that will be my healing word. Violet recovers 4 hit points.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was a bonus action. I'm going to not fight fire with fire. Reach behind my back and pull out my crossbow, and I'm going to take a shot at the flamethrower guy. Is still up?
Yeah, he's definitely still up.
I will take a shot at him. That is a 19. I can also add my bless if a 19 doesn't hit him, but I'm assuming it does.
19 definitely hits, yep.
Okay, and he takes 8 more piercing damage.
Ooh, third arrow now in him. He's still alive, though, surprisingly. He's definitely looking messed up.
I'm actually going to fall back a little bit away from the fray. I'll take partial shelter behind this copse of trees outside the inn. And that is my turn.
Violet, you are alive with 4 hit points, but on the ground.
Okay, so the one in front of Gwyven is not very injured.
Not at
yet.
all.
Not injured at all. Violet is going to stand up. She's going to cast Magic Missile at the kobold right in front of Gwyven. Let me roll that. That's 9 points of damage on that
Okay, you
kobold.
point blank shotgun this guy, and he just flies through the air dead on the ground.
I hope that helps. And then I'm just going to say, sorry. And then I'm going to bonus action use a thing I have called Into Mist, which is I will turn invisible until the end of my next turn.
Wow, and that's not like a spell, that's just an ability?
That's an ability I can do once a long rest. So I say, sorry, and then whoop, I'm invisible. And then I'm going to move back. I still have 15 feet, so I'm going to quietly creep between these 2 trees and back up a little bit, and I'm invisible until the end of my next turn.
Gwyven, Violet has disappeared from your view, but it is your turn.
He's happy she killed the kobold right in front of him. He's going to take his crossbow and reload it and take another shot at guy throwing the fire. A 15.
A 15 bounces off his
Oh, no.
mage.
You can add a... Wait. You can add a 1d4. You can add a 1d4 because you're blessed.
That's right, which automatically hits.
and he takes 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay, the final arrow, he looks like Boromir in the first movie, Lord of the Rings. He's just got like 4 arrows stuck in him. He falls down, the kobold looks over him, he's like, my king, and he expires.
All right.
And then Gwyven is going to also run back into the trees, and he is going to use his bonus action to hide.
Make a stealth check.
Ooh, a 9. Not great.
You sort of kick up a whole bunch of dust as you run into the trees. The final kobold, at least that you know of, runs screaming right at you, Gwyven. Will try to stab you with his knife, and misses you with a 10, hitting the tree instead.
Yes! Poor tree.
Talingbit, it's your turn.
Tlingbet, seeing this vicious attack on Gwyven, readies another arrow and fires it.
Can we knock him out? Can we need to know where they came from?
Too late.
Okay.
That arrow is gone.
Yeah, Tlingbet is not listening to this. Okay, that's a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
8 piercing.
That is 8, most certainly lethal, non-knockout damage right through his back and comes out the front and pins him to the tree.
Oh, well,
There are no more kobolds that you're aware of. However, the inn's on fire.
there's a whole town's worth of people around, though, right? We don't have to put out the fire.
No, I will say that after a certain amount of time, because you're relatively close to the river, the kobolds are repelled. Kobolds down by the docks are repelled by the actions of Brand Torek and his entourage. You find that most of the kobolds have either run screaming back into the forests or are dead at the defenders' feet. The inn, though singed, is not completely destroyed. Probably have to go under renovation, which I'm sure Michael Ferris absolutely loves the idea of, except he realizes that after the renovation, they'll probably be better than ever.
Wow.
We have no front line.
No.
Literally no front line.
I just went right down.
I was close.
The day passes completely now. You are in nighttime. The town is exhausted.
Oh, wait, I go back up on my Toastmaster stage. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't get
finish off. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we were so rudely interrupted, my friends, there are so many more things I could say about Hengistbury. We've all been down to Circus Ala's tower. What is up with that pixie? Am I right? Who has a pixie following him around? I do like a little pixie dance. And I say, but I didn't come here to tell you that. My real toast is a toast to love. I think there are 2 very special people here with us at the summer fair this evening.
Tlingbet tries to slink into the crowd.
Talingbit, make a stealth check.
I got a 20.
He pulls just like a Simpson, backs into the hedge kind of deal, except the hedge are citizens of Hengistbury, so.
I say, Ariadne, are you here with us this evening?
She comes forward. She's tired, exhausted. Her hair's a mess. Her face is covered with soot. And she sort of like wanders up to you.
I think it's time to read a very special letter. Take out the love letter.
Her eyes widen. She's like, not here. Not here.
Oh, there's no better place. Talingbet, I'm sure you can hear me, old fellow.
Tlingbet stays right where he is, hidden in the crowd.
From the shine of your blue scales, tips of your claws, your pointed little teeth, the whiff of ozone on your breath, and the crackle of electricity that I felt between us for the first... This is rather good. Crackle of electricity that I felt between us since the first time we met. You who rescued my... Oh God, what's the name of this flower? My calendula and my heart from the dangers of the Moor Run River. This is for you. My true love, Talingbet. And I take her hand in my right hand, and I hold out my left hand. I'm sure he'll be here in a moment.
As you read this love letter, first of all, it smells of this beautiful floral perfume. You notice that there is a strange presence that's flitting around your head and lights on your shoulder, Mercury. And it is a small creature, probably 1.5 feet tall, with enormous butterfly wings that eclipse its tiny little body. And she says, "It's pretty good, isn't it?"
I say, oh, we have a little guest. Can everyone see this, or just me?
No, like all of Hengistbury sort of goes, "Oh, it's her.
A special blessing for the summer fair.
Yeah, it's, it's one of my lesser creations, but I mean, if you wanna, you can."
Oh, are you the author? I thought that I'd look at Ariadne.
Ariadne turns a deep shade of red.
Have you got a pixie ghostwriter? Is that what I'm sensing here?
It's fine. It's fine, Ariadne. She waves at Ariadne. It's fine.
Well, this is a present intended for Tlingbet, and I'll be sure to give it to him whenever he grows some guts and comes up here and takes it.
Tlingbet, for his part, having heard the poem, is about to walk up on stage and gallantly accept this letter of affection, but seeing this creature appear, he thinks better of it and just stays right where he is.
Tlingbet is no doubt tired from saving the entire town, but I will make sure that he receives this. Thank you so much, I say to the pixie.
She says, my name's Freya.
Thank you, Freya. Freya, everyone.
Everyone's like, hi, Freya. She waves to the town. And she says, before I go, I just want to let you know something. If you're intent on giving that letter to your friend over there, it's kind of like a magical letter. Just letting you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's not going to hurt him, is it?
No. You just open it up and you read it. And then after you read it, I have to do this. It's so dumb. But I have to appear. I'm summoned by this love letter. And then I will cast a spell as you want me to. I can either do Fairy Fire, which is like this really cool thing that illuminates invisible creatures. I can do Healing Word, or I can do Hideous Laughter, which is like I tell this really...
Did I just effectively do that by reading this letter? Did I summon you just now?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I'm here.
Oh, could you please heal my friend Violet? She was injured earlier.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine. She points her finger at Violet, and Violet, you get 1d8 plus 2 hit points.
Oh my goodness. Are you going to use dust? Do you have dust? Is that a real thing? I heard that pixies have sort of magical dust.
Yeah, a lot of people are allergic to it, so I don't really use the dust that often. But if you're not allergic to it and you won't sue me afterwards, fine, I'll go ahead and use my dust.
Oh my god, if you just have a little bit, I would love the tiniest little bit of it, if you can
Flits over to you and just sort of, you see this sort of golden dust a la Tinkerbell appear, and it just sort of like falls on you in a little dust fall. Turns you golden for a second, and you get back 9 hit points, which I think brings you up to full.
That is incredible, and it does. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm really trying to, save some of it somehow.
She says, normally I do this. You have to sort of attune to the letter, but I'll make this a freebie. But next time you have to attune to it, okay?
All right. Well, it's for Tlingbet to attune to it, but I'm not going to let him do that until he does the right thing here.
Of course. Well, I'll see you later. And she disappears in a flash.
Thank you. Wow.
You definitely win the toast contest. The actions of the 4 of you have been noted. You all receive from the town a reward. A vial of dust, which Circus Hollow gives to...
Oh, dust of dryness?
It is a dust not of dryness. But Circus Hollow gives this to you, Violet, and he says, for your next endeavor, a dust of sneezing and choking. It's great at parties.
Oh, thank you.
And then to Tlingbet, Bran Torek, the sheriff, says, thought you could maybe use it wherever you're going. Well, here you go. I mean, you saved the town, at least for now. Kobolds seem to be frightened off a lot worse than they ever have. So here you go. Gives you like this big candle.
Oh, thank you. I was just trying to do the right thing, but thank you. I will make good use of this.
Yeah, it's a magic candle. I mean, I never had the use for it personally, but whatever. Maybe you can find something for it.
What does it do?
She uses the command word, and all of a sudden the candle turns to light and basically just gives you light for a certain distance. It's only visible to you. Like, if you turned it on, I wouldn't see it. You got charges on. I think it's got 3 charges. Good for about an hour each.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Those are the rewards that you have been given by the town of Hengistbury. By the time night winds into day, after a good long rest, there's already like a medical tent set up for all the people who were wounded. They use the tent from the pie eating competition. Lady Pemberton is tending to all of the people who were wounded in the kobold attack. You see Bran Torek's guards just piling up kobold bodies onto a cart. A couple of the citizens slapping you on the back.
I will go ahead and attune to that pixie love letter. I will give it to Tlingbet when and if he decides to take a bold step in the name of romance. But until then, there's no reason to waste the letter. So I will attune to it myself until then.
As day dawns, you all wander around the village. People thank you in their own ways. Ariadne, of course, looks extremely shy now that the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, and steps forward in your direction and opens her mouth to speak. But as she does so, you hear the whinny of a horse. And everyone in your vicinity sort of looks towards the rise in the road as a horse arrives with a man dressed in the garments of the Hengistbury militia. Brantoric stops the man on horse and says, "What's going on?" And the man on horseback dismounts and says, "Brand, it's Belton." Brand says, "What do you mean? Where's Belton?" "I don't know. I don't know if they..." And he looks towards the four of you. "I don't know if they should be around to hear it." "Well, why not? They saved the town. They should hear whatever you have to say."
Belton's our friend.
His face goes like a ghastly pale, and he sighs and he says, "I'm sorry to inform the four of you, but we've found Belton's wagon. There's no sign of him."
Oh no.
His wagon looks like it's been attacked. We're not quite sure. The axle is broken. I tried to track whatever it was or whoever it was that took Belton. He was on the way to Blackford. Brantoric turns and looks at the four of you and says, "Well, it looks like you got a job to do." Thanks for listening. This episode featured Tal Aviezer as Mercury, Andy Cannistra as Gwyven, Carolyn Fox as Violet, Rachel Savicki as Tlingbet, and me, Matt Gordon, as the Dungeon Master. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox and Tal Aviezer. Our original theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 1 week with our year in review episode of Power Word Talk, and in 2 weeks with the next episode of Memories of Holdenshire.